All right. Hey guys, happy Monday again. Third and final time for Monday, October 22nd. We are with my friend Jordan Muench. I did it right. All right, so let us know you can hear us or see us. It's always my biggest fear. We had one show, which you may not know that. Christina Felix is on. She's going to be on the show tomorrow. I had somebody do the entire... Oh, and Willow Shakespeare's on. Yay, Willow. Okay, we got a thumbs up. Excellent. I had somebody do the entire show once, and they could not hear, but nobody told me. So we had to invite that attorney back on. All right, so we got some good people popping on.
Excellent.
Thank you guys, got a thumbs up. All right, so thanks for coming on, Jordan Muench.
Thank you for having me.
Doesn't he look all nice today? He got all super dressed up. I'm loving it.
Hi,
Oh, Shirley.
I know Shirley.
We love Shirley Stamper. Joanna Petrowski and I went to high school, junior high. What did we go, Joanna?
Wow.
It's been a long time. Lauren Bell's on. All right, so we've got the thumbs up. Everybody's good.
Excellent.
All right, so tell us a little bit about you. I'm very excited to have you on the show, you rock star you.
Thank you.
I've got some personal comments about how you do business, which is a good thing, by the way, so
Excellent.
stay tuned. But tell us about you.
Well, I'm a native Floridian.
Native?
I am a native. I was born in Fort Lauderdale and grew up in the Daytona Beach area. My family lived in the Daytona Beach area for 18 years. Actually lived a block from the ocean for 18 years.
Nice. So did you surf growing up?
A little bit. I dabbled. I dabbled.
Can you dabble in surfing?
Mean, it's Daytona Beach. It's not like a surfing mecca.
No, that's true.
No, there's plenty. I mean, I've been to Costa Rica and seen real waves.
Those are real waves.
Yeah.
Hawaii too, or
Yep.
Australia are the ones I want to go see.
Yes. So, but a little it's hard to not surf. I feel, there's only so many things that you can do at Daytona to stay busy. But lived there for 18 years, went to school in Daytona, came to Orlando in 2005 for college. And
Where'd you go to college?
I had an associate's at Valencia. And then got a bachelor's from UCF.
Oh, you're a knight
I
too.
am
So
a
am
knight.
I.
Yeah, see there?
2000 what?
Oh, what year did I graduate from UCF? It would have been 2010.
Okay, so I graduated UCF in 1989. Hey, Carrie, what's up? 1989, but I'm still a knight. I wasn't an FTU, so all you crazy people, I
There you
wasn't
go.
there for FTU.
Yep.
What did you get your degree in?
Criminal justice, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, who would have
So
thought?
what was the thought process on criminal justice?
Well, it was one of those things. Right after high school, I took a single credit course at the community college in Daytona where I grew up, and it was one of those things where they learn all about you and then give you a list of things that you would probably be good at. Because I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life.
Does anyone at that age
No,
really?
I don't think so. I think the majority of people that I was in that class with were kind of like, we could do this.
Did you want to be a police officer, maybe?
I was thinking law enforcement, maybe military service, but definitely law school. Law school was like the end game.
Law school, sure.
Yeah, and I still might go to law school one day.
You're young
for
enough.
fun. Thank you. It's not off the table.
You're still a baby. 2009 you graduated? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Carrie, by the way, tell Muscles I said hi, by the way. Listen, you gotta engage.
Sure.
You can't engage.
I
can see.
I know Shirley.
Dave Frazier is on. I've known Dave since I was 12 and Dave was 25. We worked at Musicland together in Fashion Square Mall. I just like to give him a hard time.
Of course.
All right, so then you took a turn. You obviously did not go to law school at that point
Haven't
or
been
become
to law
a police
school yet.
officer.
Nope, haven't done law enforcement yet. But no, I was. It was towards my senior year of college. I was dating a girl. We decided to get married, have a baby, and I was working in hospitality at the time.
Where were you?
I was at the Romano's Macaroni Grill in Oviedo on Redbug. It's right next to
Is it
the
still
Rock and
there?
Brews. It is still there.
They have
I
great
was there.
cheesecake, right?
They do, yeah.
Is that the thing that I remember about that place?
They're peasant bread. Everyone loves their bread.
Yes,
the
their
bread
bread's
and the oil
amazing.
and all that fun
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, I opened that restaurant. This would have been back in 2009, right before I graduated college. And so we decided that it would be best for me as a new father and a new homeowner to stay in hospitality because I'd been promoted to manager. I was a full-time manager with salary and benefits, and I had a newborn on the way. So it seemed a much better decision for our family to stick in that as opposed to shifting into law enforcement. So,
sure.
But that was the shift happened. Not long after that, I tried growing up way too fast. I was 21 years old. I bought a house, got married, became a manager, had a child. all within like a year or two.
You were 21 in 2009?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Okay, keep going.
But yeah, no, that was me trying to grow up way too fast, and it caught up to me. And but I stayed in hospitality, got out of management, but I went across the street, right up the street, which is where I know Shirley from, to Stonewood, which used to be.
Oh my God, I remember. Is Stonewood still there?
It's not there anymore.
No, that was a good place.
It was a good spot.
Yeah,
Martini
I like that
night
place.
was a lot of fun.
That's why I know it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I made the shift to Stonewood and was running their bar. And it was while I was running that bar that I was given, it was the second time somebody suggested that I consider a career in real estate. The first,
Why do you think because you were so personable as the bartender, as running the bar?
Yeah, I mean,
right?
She explained herself at one point. It was kind of, she saw how I interacted with guests, and she saw that I had a certain skill set that she didn't have. And she ended up being my first broker. She sponsored me to go to real estate school.
No way!
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, she recruited me. She was a one-woman operation, a little boutique brokerage out of Maitland called Profitable Properties. And she told me, she said, I see how you interact with guests, and I need a buyer's agent, because she was listing Fannie Mae foreclosure properties at the time. And she said, my phone's ringing off the hook. I've got 10 listings and nobody to work with buyers, and I don't want to work with buyers. She said, I can't coach you, I can't train you, I can't mentor you, but I'll pay for you to get your license, and then you can come answer the phones and figure it out. So that's what I did.
So what was you didn't have a background in it, so what was it about it that was attractive? Or was it just because you had somebody go who had experience, so I believe in you, Jordan, and this is what I think you should do?
It had a lot to do with that. That was probably it. I mean, like I said, she was the second person to suggest I consider a career in real estate. The first person was the realtor that my ex-wife and I used when we bought our home in 2007. I think it was when we bought our home. Our realtor at the time, she's still in real estate, but she was the first person to suggest that I consider a career in real estate. So having heard this before and now been given the means and the opportunity to actually get the license, I figured, what the heck? There's got to be something here to it.
Were you married at the time?
No, not at the time I got my license. No, I was not. That was, we both look back at that and said we can kind of laugh and say that we gave it our best shot, and we're great co-parents. We have a beautiful 10-year-old son.
That's right. You have a 10-year-old.
10-year-old.
And how is that? How is parenting at that young of an age?
I enjoy it.
Say hi to the people behind you.
Hi, friends behind
Citrus
us.
Club people.
Hello. Welcome to the Citrus Club. Yeah, no, I enjoy it. Like yesterday, for example, I was hanging out with my son, and he said, let's go play basketball. So yeah, we went and played basketball out in the driveway, and I still have, I don't know, I feel like I've got somewhat of an advantage in that there's still a youthfulness to not only, the things that I want to do with him, but that I can do. We get to run around and play soccer together.
I love your current profile picture.
Thank you.
I almost used that as the picture in the promotion today. So tell them a little bit about that, because I love how you parent.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that very much. My profile picture currently is a picture taken from behind my son and I. I got a pretty unique opportunity to coach his Little League team. And that was a dream come true for me. When my son was much, much younger, his mom encouraged him to play soccer because she was a soccer player growing up. And I did not like playing soccer as a kid. Way too much running around for my taste.
Do you guys want to come on? Come on the show. You're live. You sure? Okay. Well, I just want everybody to be included.
Right? So he played soccer for a few years as a kid, and I kept, every so often I'd say, you want to give baseball a try? You want to give baseball a try? I played a lot of baseball growing up. I think
So you played baseball, but he wanted soccer.
Well, he he's a good mama's boy, just like me, and so he did what mom asked and decided to try soccer. And he's an incredible little soccer player, and he's got the attention span for soccer. Doesn't have the attention span for baseball, but he tried it one season, and I jumped in and coached his Little League team. And the picture is me wearing my jersey that says Coach, and then him wearing his jersey that says Munch, and I've got my hand behind his back.
I love that picture because
really
I think
cool
that
photo.
because everything that I know, one of the things I know about you is that you're super attentive to people.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I knew that you would be like a dad with that. I knew you'd be a great dad, and that's if you look at any of Jordan's, I know that's one of his whys, but I know for a fact that that overloads, that goes into the way that you are with people and business. This isn't just a dad thing. You're actually part of.
Sure, definitely. I mean, you know, there's something to be said about being able to share what I've learned in my experience, not, you know, life experience, sharing life experience with my son, you know, sharing professional experience with clients. You know, there's definitely a strong correlation to that. Not that I look like at my clients like they're my children, but I mean, some of them.
Yeah, but you treat people like family. So
Absolutely.
one of the things I wanted to bring up was that whenever we either have a meeting or you have something that you see on Facebook, you don't just message me. You send a written notification on that. So talk about why that's important, because I think I know people have gotten away from that. It's very easy to click on a button that says thank you or happy birthday.
Right.
There's not a lot of personalization in anything. And so tell me why that's important.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Social media, you know, Facebook, Instagram, I think, you know, they're hugely valuable tools, and, you know, they allow us to keep keep up to date with what's going on in other people's lives, you know, friends, family members, but it's definitely served to, I think it's done a disservice, I think, to a lot of us, in that, you know, it like you mentioned, it becomes so much easier just to click a like when I see something that instead of actually call and say, hey, I see that, you know, you just celebrated some success, and I'm proud of you, and tell me more about that. You know, it has you know, like you mentioned, it reduced some of the personability and the personal interaction that I think, you know, was a big part of our society before social media came around and became as popular as it was.
I feel like people have gotten away from like the basic manners. People they don't respect other people. They don't respect time. They also don't want to connect with people.
Sure.
They feel like it's super easy to just do a quick little thing, and then people don't actually interact on a level that's personal.
Sure.
And I think that people view business, and that's why I want you to talk more about that,
Okay.
because that's a big leap. I think a lot of people don't make that leap.
Sure.
And so tell us why you made it, and how is it as difficult as, because people say to me, I could never write all those thank you cards,
Right.
Ted. I could never write a personal note. When I see something come in the mail from you, I know it's been handwritten.
Sure. No, it's nowhere near as difficult as I think it seems. It definitely took some effort to build that routine, but it's one of the habits, and it's one of those ones where this one I'm fond of. You know, like I can do this. You know, anything that you love to do, whether it's, you know, some degree of passion or excitement or enthusiasm about, you know, if you do it on a regular basis, it just becomes second nature, you know, and whether it's writing that personal note or saying, hey, I haven't seen you face to face, and how long has it been? We need to do something about that. What's your schedule like? Here's my schedule and availability. Let's get together and have some FaceTime. Right. You know, I was just talking to a friend about this earlier today. You know, I mean, I'm no different. You know, I fall victim to that too, where it's like, man, I wish somebody would reach out to me, but it's like, you know what? I'm thinking about them. My phone works. Let me pick up the phone and call them. You know,
I think people have let go of the phone too. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, texting, it's amazing. You know, I've sold homes to people. I've sold homes that I've never seen to people that I've never met through text message and Facebook messaging. And, you know, the convenience of it, there's definitely some value to that. You know, if I pick up the phone and call somebody randomly, I almost feel like it's rude and intrusive because I don't know that they're able to take a phone call at that time. But, you know, setting the stage for that phone call, you know, being able to get to the place where we're having real interaction, I can hear your tone of voice, you can hear mine, maybe even take that to the next level, we're actually face to face and it can exchange body language. You know, the phone is such a valuable tool in that, you know, it can start the conversation, but, you know, I think some people, and you know, some people are just like that. They're just too busy, or they've got other important things going on, and, you know, they'll text back when they can, and that's okay, you know, but like I'm the type of person where I'll start with a text, but I want it to turn into more than that, you know. There's so much to be said.
Well, you obviously okay. So how do you apply that to? Because I think I forget the title that we came up with, but I think it had Rockstar in it. But people overuse that. So tell us how what was the reason for choosing that, And then what do you think you do different? We talked about some of the stuff, the phone calls, the personal notes.
Sure.
But what do you do different when you're in the market? So this can apply to real estate. It doesn't have to, but it can. It can apply to other businesses. What do you do to build your relationships in a different way?
Okay. So I remember when I was thinking about getting my license, I may have started taking my licensing courses at the time. And it's interesting, just as a sidebar real quick, working at Stonewood, at the bar there, I had a lot of real estate agents that were customers at the bar. You know, we had the Caldwell Banker office that was catty corner across the street from there. Remax Town and Country office, which is now the brokerage I'm with, right up the street. And a lot of their agents were regulars, semi-regulars at Stonewood. And you know, I would talk to them about this. Hey, I'm thinking about getting my real estate license, and they would give me their feedback. And you know, one of the bits of feedback that I got was that that it is extremely difficult to get started in real estate. You know that you know, there's certain expectations that people have of real estate agents and realtors. But one of the things was that, you know, people view realtors like they do used car salesmen. I was like,
Sometimes it's like when I used to sell insurance.
Okay.
I'm at the bottom of the barrel, right above people who sell funeral plots.
Ooh.
I'm kind of close. Now, realtors are a little above,
Okay,
but that's
fair
right. If you tell, or attorneys,
Uh-huh.
you tell somebody you're a realtor in a conversation, they're like, ooh, my aunt's cousin's sister's friend from another country is one, so don't talk to me about it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I clearly remember somebody saying that, you know, realtors have a reputation similar to used car salesmen, you know, and I got to witness that a little bit, you know, and I was like, I don't want to be associated with these people that are just cutthroat, over aggressive, you know, like monetizing every relationship that they have, you know, and just trying ruthlessly to be, you know, in front of somebody's mind when, you know, they may not be that serious about buying or selling at that time, you know, and that's something that I quickly learned, and that, you know, I do offer a unique service. I'm not the only one. Obviously, I think there's 16,000 licensed agents.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. You know?
3 of you voted recently, but we'll talk about that on another show.
But yeah, you know, there's a lot of competition out there, and everybody probably knows somebody that has a license, you know, because getting a license is not that difficult. It's a 63-hour course and a couple of tests. I ran an ad not too long ago that, you know, the focal point was that, you know, if you go get a haircut at a licensed barber, that barber spent 2,000 hours of their life to get that barber's license, and your haircut might cost $30.
I know.
Right?
That makes me feel bad.
And who are
now
you?
I feel bad.
Well, I mean, think about that. But then, you know, somebody that you're hiring or employing to help you with, you know, the most expensive financial transaction of your life. You know, like, they just happen to have a license, so I'll let them list my house for me. Like, that seems.
But how does the general consumer, buyer or seller? Oh, Sharon, that was
Thank
sweet.
you, Sharon.
How do they maneuver through all the craziness that's going on in the market right now? And it doesn't necessarily have to do with it's a seller's market transitioning to a buyer's market. It's that they have so many choices and they're inundated with choices. So how is it that how can you get the regular Joe, the regular person who is not in real estate, in mortgage, in insurance, that just wants to buy or sell a home, how do you get them to a quality agent like you?
That's a good question.
It's really hard. Like, I'm not going to mention names like OfferPad. I want to figure out how people figure out what that means and how they get through that, past it. It could be the best thing for them, but right now there's so much up in the air and people don't know how to get to a you specifically.
Right. I think there's a lot to be said about that word of mouth, that referral, you know, because I mean, once you've had a good positive impact on one person, you know, that one person is probably going to remember that experience, you know, and maybe somebody may have had an incredibly great experience with OfferPad or something like that.
Right.
And if that's working for great, you know, like, OfferPad's probably going to be helpful for a certain type of person.
Well, I don't think it's going away. That's why I want
think so
people,
either.
I want realtors in general, realtors, the whole real estate industry, to begin to figure out, okay, how do we address that, or how do we work with that with the consumers? So consumers right now are being inundated with that kind of stuff, and then they don't know what to do, and then it sounds pretty, So if it sounds pretty, that's what we normally do because that's how we are in our country, which is awesome. But sometimes that's not the best thing for us. And so how do you figure out what are the things that you tell people? Because I'm sure you don't take everybody either. I think we have to be discernible.
Absolutely.
We have to discern whether or not it's a good client for us, a good fit for us. So what do you do?
I'm only recently learning that a realtor, the one person who wears this cap, wears the title realtor. They're responsible for a lot. I mean, I've learned this over the years that we're responsible for a lot and almost all the moving parts and pieces of a real estate transaction. And there are certain parts of that I am extremely good at, and I'm very confident that I'm good at these parts of the transaction, right? And in my opinion, they're the most important parts of the real estate transaction. There are other parts that are very pretty, very attractive, very marketable, that may have very little, if not nothing to do at all with the real estate transaction. So what can I learn from those people that are really good at the interior design part of things, the decor, the staging, making your house look as marketable as possible, so that way I can sell it for top dollar in the shortest period of time. I'm not that person that's going to walk into your house and say, oh my God, I love your crown molding, I love what you've done with this kitchen here, because like I mentioned, my first brokerage, she was a Fannie Mae foreclosure broker.
Right.
So we were selling dilapidated homes that ought to be foreclosed on, and I was selling those homes, So I walk into a house and it's livable. I'm excited to sell a home that's turnkey ready, Granted, I've gained some experience since then, and I've sold some really high-end, top-dollar, top-notch quality properties. But knowing, like I said, getting back to the original question, knowing what I bring to the table, my strengths as a real estate agent, which are being able to communicate very effectively, at your level, at your convenience, and being able to communicate effectively with all the other people involved in that transaction. Because, if you look at it, there's probably upwards of 24 people that are involved in any real estate transaction. The realtor, the mortgage lender, everybody that works on the lending side. I mean, there's at least a handful of people that are working on every mortgage that's getting closed. The title company's got probably a handful of people that are working on that file.
Correct.
So by the time it's all said and done, there's a small army of people that are involved in this. So being able to communicate with them on their level, at their schedule, and see to that it's done properly in a timely manner. My favorite clients still to this date are first-time homebuyers.
Why is that?
It's the closing. At the closing, it makes it all worthwhile. They are high maintenance. Sometimes they're a pain in the butt. They think they know what they want. They really have no idea what they want. They're barely qualified for financing, So
That is for sure.
But when it's all said and done, and they get the keys to their own home, their property, you can do whatever you want with this, and this is yours, and you've done this, and I got to be a very small part in helping you get there, and they'll probably remember that experience.
They're never going to forget that. I think I love first-time home buyers because they literally, first of all, you have to get past a few things to get to a first-time home buyer for them to trust you.
Sure.
Because you're asking, like on the lending side, we're asking for things that they've never shared with anybody. They don't even share with their realtor sometimes.
Right.
So they have to share tax returns, social security number, bank statements. As a real estate agent, you have to ask the basic questions, but that's not your job to collect all of that information. That's mine. And so I love first-time home buyers because it helps me refine my process, and it helps me be better at working with borrowers and buyers in general.
Sure.
Because I forget sometimes, I think we all do, the pain that it takes or the pain you experience when you're going through the process of buying a home.
Sure.
It's not always easy. It's not all pretty like it is on the commercials. There's a lot of nitty gritty. A lot of people are borderline whether they can be qualified or not, and so we have to figure out a way. Nobody really has a pension anymore. There are so many financial factors that all of us that are in the industry have to try to figure out how to maneuver through, that it's not just this quick and easy transaction anymore.
Right.
And so I love working with first-time home buyers too, because I think there's an innocence there, and I think there's a desire that they're finally going to break free from paying rent. and they're going to own something for the first time, something big. And it's so satisfying to see their keys, to see them sign that final piece of paperwork, to see them get the keys from the realtor. It's a beautiful process.
It is, and you know, it's the American dream, you know. So being able to facilitate that is absolutely incredible, you know. And I'll tell every client that I've been working with, you know, that I've started working with over the past year, you know, I've started that conversation. And first-time home buyers, you know, I'll tell them straight out, you're going to be the biggest pain in my butt for probably the next 4 months, but I'm going to be more excited working with you to buy this little, you know, 3-2 in, you know, whatever part of town you're interested in, as opposed to working with that institutional investor that's going to be turning around and flipping home. We're going to do two deals with them, you know.
Right.
And it, you know, like you mentioned, it's good too for me because I get reminded that this is a really big deal to some people.
It's huge when
you know?
you're in it all the time.
Yes.
You don't remember how big that is.
Yes.
And a lot of people are like, my tax returns, you mean my 1040 easy? It's a lot to ask of a human being. And yet they're so excited, but they don't know what to expect, and so it's an anxious, anxiety-ridden time. No matter how wonderful Jordan and I are, on the buyer's side, it can be very hard for them. So to me, it's such a great period. I love to work with first-time home buyers because they really just they keep it real.
Sure.
And they make you keep it real.
Sure. Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to share all of Jordan's contact information because I saw a lot of comments. Boy, he seems like a nice guy. He is a nice guy, but we want to take it past the nice guy because what he does, he actually really does engage in a way that I think all of us should kind of revisit how we're engaging. He sends a personal card. He really has the background and the wherewithal and the want and the desire to help his buyers and sellers. And I think realtors in general, and mortgage people too, we just need to be reminded of that. We need to be reminded of why we're in the business. It's a beautiful puzzle that we get to work on all the time. And when all the pieces finally come together, when you get it clear to close, it's like the most beautiful, wonderful, satisfying moment. And you know, like you said, that we played one small but integral part of them reaching their dream, whether it's selling the home or buying. Yep. All right, so we're going to share all of Jordan's contact information, how you can reach him, how you can engage him. He's very open, so realtors, I think, in our town, especially the ones that watch the show, tend to be more collaborative. So if you have a question for Jordan, please reach out to him.
Yes.
He's so open, you can tell.
Not hard to get in touch with.
He's not hard to get in touch with.
That's another thing. People complain that their real estate agents that they use in the past never answer the phone or call them back. I don't know that I've ever once done that. If you don't get me on the phone when you call, I will text you to say, hey, I'm with a client right now. You'll hear from me in 20 minutes.
Communication, right?
Yes.
And especially when you're dealing with a buyer or seller who's, again, your anxiety's here. I don't care how good the transaction is. You're trying to sell that house or you're trying to buy that house. There's no in between. And so if you can't get a hold of the one person who kind of holds it all together, I feel like you guys are definitely the glue in the transaction because you have to balance me, the mortgage guy, the appraiser, the inspector, the title company, the insurance agent. You have a lot. And then the entire other side of the transaction, whatever your buyer or seller, the other side. So you have a lot to deal with.
Sure.
So they come to you. Your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, you're everything. Your benefactor. You have to be that person for them. And I love the fact that that's how you are. You're very calm. You personally are very calm. Not all real estate agents are built the same way, people, just to let you know. All right, so we're going to share all of Jordan's contact information. Any way that you can get in touch with him, I'm going to share it, and so is Jordan. All right, any parting words of wisdom for them? Anything you want to share with
words
them?
of wisdom. I don't know. I mean, in this high-paced world that we live in, you know, be mindful of those that you come across with, you know, whether it be passing in traffic or, I don't know. I mean, you know, this life is short and it's beautiful, and we get a unique opportunity to enjoy our surroundings and the people that we come and pass. There's a reason for it. You know, I'm a big believer in that there is a reason for it. So, You know, I don't know, words of wisdom. I didn't think about words
No,
of
it's
wisdom.
all right. I
Yeah.
usually tell you
Love
that, but I
people,
got
man.
distracted.
Love people.
Where
Be
did
of
you get,
service.
before we head out, where did you get your unique perspective? Was it from parents? Was it from mentors? Was it from growing up? Because I think a lot of people get caught up in the business side of things
Sure.
and they forget how to be a human being. And this is
yeah.
just isn't in real estate, it's in any business. So you're very sensitive is a good word. You're very empathetic. Where did that come from?
That's a good question. Parents definitely played a big part in that. Genetics, I think there's some genetics and biology to it. I really do. You know,
I love it.
You know, I mean, I was always encouraged to just be honest with my feelings. You know, so like, here's how I'm feeling about whatever it is that's going on. I got a little bit of a global perspective when I was younger. I was very involved in church. We went on a mission trip to Haiti and got to visit, you know, with some, you know, some people that were
Life changing.
Yeah, that's game changing stuff right there. So, you know, being appreciative of this amazingly lavish, luxurious lifestyle that we have just living in America compared to, you know, and not taking that for granted. So,
and being a dad certainly
yes,
changes
absolutely.
you. I think being a parent is so life changing, and if you allow it to be that way, it changes the way you are in all of your relationships, not just personal but business relationships.
Sure. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of paying it forward, you know, more so than paying it back. You know, pay back obviously, you know, but paying it forward, and that I think brings us to a great little closing point. Another dream of mine that I've had since I got started in this business was to be able to do for someone what was done for me, you know. And so, you know, for anybody that's watching or that sees this later, you know, if you're in a field or a job or that you're just kind of feel stuck in, but you know that you love people, you love helping people, and that you can communicate better than the average Joe, and you think real estate might be a good fit for you, let's talk, you know, because when I got my real estate license, when I was sponsored to get my license, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I couldn't fathom the idea of carving out, you know, a little bit of money to go get my real estate license. You know, so not only do I want to be able to do that for somebody, but I also want to impart upon them everything that I've gained knowledge and experience-wise. You know, I've had some formal coaching, some formal training. I've figured out a few things that work and a lot of things that don't work.
That's the game,
but
right?
I would love to be able to do that for somebody else and help them get out of whatever it is that you're in that you feel stuck in, you know. So yeah, let's talk about that.
That's awesome. All right, you're a joy, my friend.
I appreciate
you
that.
so
Yeah,
much.
thank you for having me.
The Rockstar Realtor.
Well, we can't say that anymore. You can say it, but no, the Realtor word is forbidden.
Realtor is forbidden.
Well, when you attach like a brand to it, that's another story.
Oh my God, yes, that is
National Association of
new.
Realtors.
I can say it. Oh, I wish the world had more people like the two of you. We love you, Joanna. You got to come out and be on the show.
So,
all right,
you want me to just spout off contact information?
You can, and then we're
Jordan
going to share
Muench.
it. Jordan
I'm
Muench.
with Remax 200 Realty, also Remax Town and Country, same brokerage. My cell phone, call my cell, don't call my office, call my cell, 407-921-4633. Real estate related or otherwise. My email address is jordan@rockstarhometeam.com. And what else? I don't have a fax
That's
machine.
good. No. Who
I don't
has
have
a
pager
fax
anymore.
machine? No more fax machine.
No pager. Facebook, Jordan Muench, Muench. My business page is Rockstar Home Team at Remax 200.
So you got to have the Rockstar in there.
Yep. And that's, you know, we didn't get to that part, but that's all right. You're gonna have to have me on as a guest on your when you're a big fancy studio.
My big fan. Seriously, we need a big fancy studio. I love you, Yolanda and John. You guys are awesome. All right, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having
me. We
me.
love you guys
It
for
was a
sticking
pleasure.
with us.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you tomorrow. Got a whole bunch of really good, emotional show for sure in the morning. Breast Cancer Awareness Month is still going on. So please reach out to Jordan. Come on. How could you not want to be mentored by Jordan
Be fun.
Muench?
We'll have a good time.
All right. We love you guys.
Thank you.
Peace out.